When I was younger, my dad used to be really fidgety. Like, biting his nails, biting his skin, picking at his nails, fucking with his skin, twitching all over, like, doing shit like this in the car, like, a bunch of things which I would wonder when I was little why his body would always be moving. He would just be doing things that it seemed like he wasn't aware of. And when I would ask him about it, he would be like, I don't know, I just do it. It just happens. But in recent times, my dad has kind of gone through what many would and he would refer to as a spiritual awakening. And within that, he found a line that connected with a lot of Buddhist teachings and principles. And through that, he told me this one day in the car. He was like, I've learned that anytime you're twitching or fucking with your hands or fucking with you're itching or something and you're not aware of it, it's something that anytime you're fidgeting and unaware of it, fidgeting with anything, that's because you're either thinking of something in the past or in the future. And I pondered on that a lot. And every time I would be fucking with something, I would realize in some way, shape, or form, yeah, I was not connected with the present moment. I was thinking about something outside of it. That really fucking helped me in my spiritual journey, just becoming aware and just becoming a man, being able to be competent, displaying myself as calm and collected. Because before, I wasn't able to understand or reconcile with that idea. And when it got put to me in such a simple manner, it really helped me develop the skill of presence and awareness, which is what we're going to talk about today. I'd like to preface this by stating I'm no expert on these topics, and I'm simply here to relay them to you in a way which helped me understand and use them to my advantage. What moment exists other than the present? The past fills up no volume, except for filling up space in your memories. The future only fills up space in our dreams. Or the worst end of that, our anxieties and fears. These things only take up weight in your mind. What that means is, yes, they don't take up space in the 3D realm, the reality you see around you, but most importantly, they take place where you can't see them. It's very easy to get caught up in misery and depression when you're thinking about it. Actually, it's the only time that it really arises, when you're thinking about them. I mean, excluding events of tragedy, let's be honest here, it's not day in, day out misery. There's something that you enjoy doing, at least something, no matter who you are. The point there is, once you change the way you look at things, things themselves begin to change. There is always something beautiful you can draw from the present moment. The moment is a gift, and that's why they call it the present. So how do we become present? I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to some of you, but if you grew up like I did, becoming present is something you have to learn. It's a skill, something which is garnered in practice. I was not out the womb in deep meditation on some type of shit, man. Nah. Straight out the womb, we all went wah, wah. And I mean, that just really means we were all shaped by our outer circumstances. We were all influenced by forces which surrounded us, whether that have been an abundance of positivity or negativity. It reflects in the person that we become. We're put here to overcome these challenges. My outer circumstances made me a fucking spaz. And I felt, I'm talking like I felt crazy, man, as a youngin'. And sometimes that still manifests now, in my moments of deepest digression, when I'm in self-doubt, what I like to call possessed by demons. Most people who have known me since a child can attest to that. Like, I was out there, man. Fidgety ass, anxiety ridden, attention deficit, little high functioning autistic little boy. I was indeed. At some points, I even genuinely questioned if I was retarded. But over time, I learned how to be self-aware and present, which has allowed me to win those battles in my head more often than I lose them. And that in and of itself is all really people want and can ask for who are suffering, man. None of my childhood and adolescent traumas, difficulties, or hindrance stopped me from learning that I could gain control over my thoughts and actions, man. And that process only began once I became aware of them. It's the TikTok fast information era, man. Fast paced. Things around us are fast paced and rapid. It's inevitable our minds will reflect that state if we don't become fully aware of it and learn how to battle with it and learn how to use it to advantage instead of being caught up and enthralled. So that's the key, right? The awareness. All right, bang, yeah. That was the key that I found to allow me to feel competent, sane, and confident in myself and abilities. The question now is just this, like, how do you become present? Same question as before. I had to give a little preface before I really answered it, and I've built it up. I built it up this deep and left you here with this to ponder. And some of you may know the answer to how do you become present, and some of you don't. And some of you probably don't even give a fuck, but I'm going to answer this question in a simple, formal, and calm manner. Ultimately, the way it became digestible to me. Again, this is limited to my sphere of experience, but I believe there is some universal truth that lies here. The key to the present moment is awareness, and the key to awareness is to focus on the present. I know that was a circular definition and you heard present twice, but stay with me. In my experience, the key to awareness has been as simple as focusing on my breath. The breath is ever flowing, like the world, like your body, like nature. But the real cool thing about your breath that, they really didn't tell you in school, is that you have control over it. You kind of know that innately, but we forget that. We forget that when we're going through day to day, that we do have that control. Like when all else fails and you're at rock bottom, the one thing you really can control is that, man. Real shit. You have control over it, but what does it mean to have control over your breath, Austin?
What does it mean to have control over your breath?
Let me ask you this. How often are you anxious with a slow heart rate?
I don't think I really notice. I don't pay attention.
I know I referenced a fast-paced society a minute ago, but the slow heart rate represents calmness, a state of flow which isn't rapid. While the fast heart rate represents 1,000 miles an hour, if you're thinking fast, you're likely beating fast. And, your brain is in direct communication and direct... What does this say?
Alright, that worked. I don't think it did. It might have.
My bad. Yeah, my handwriting got me fucked up. The fast heart rate represents 1,000 miles an hour, and if you're thinking fast, you're likely beating fast, because your brain is in connection with your body. And if you focus and gain control over your body, you can find the ability to do so in your brain. So, I don't know, why all this talk on the breath? Why mention this is what they don't tell you? Why act like it's so important? If you can control your breath, you can control your heart rate in real time. Exaggerate your out-breath. Breathe longer than in. The intake of oxygen raises the heart rate. So if you're anxious and heightened, just intake less. A simple way to calm nerves and anxiety in real time. Why is this important? If you can literally manipulate your perception of time and of outward endeavors with your breath alone, what else can we do with this ever-flowing lifeline that we take advantage of? We can use it as a key to the moment. I found that focusing on the breath allows you to have full focus on your body and its sensations, ultimately becoming aware of them in that moment. You can come to conclusions on why they happen. You can come to conclude, I find that in focusing on your breath, it allows you to have full focus on your body and its sensations, ultimately becoming aware of them. In that moment, you can come to conclusions on why those sensations are happening. Mid-breath work, a thought can knock on the door. And we may find that our body reacts to those thoughts in a particular way, whether it be a traumatic thought or simply just a past event that we're very emotionally tied to. We are physically affected by these thoughts. And even though when you really first start out trying to focus on it for long periods of time, because that's just what meditation is focusing on the breath for long periods of time, the thoughts will knock on the door loud as fuck, especially if they've been playing your whole life and you really haven't tried to throw them away, because a lot of us identify with those thoughts. We don't look at the aspect that's bigger, that we are not the thoughts, we are the awareness of them. And in those moments where you're focused on your breath and body, you can see your thoughts. You keep focusing on your breath and body, and it will allow you to observe your thoughts for what they are. It allows you to step outside the shell of your own thought, and in turn become fully aware of their ever-changing and ever-flowing existence. A thought is but a cloud in the sky. It moves along all day and is in constant influx and change. I am not my thoughts. In nature, I am ever-flowing change. I am nature. The key to the present moment is awareness. And in my experience, awareness starts with the breath.
Anything that's probably I think it's definitely anything that has I think it's someone